through your
Sorry.
administration and illness, and when you talk about your illness, you can then you can bring in that email.
That email. Yep, exactly.
I've got conversation stuff about long runs and backs.
Okay.
It's very boring, isn't it? But there you go. Oh, and men. Let me put that in there.
Perfect.
Men.
I've got another men email technically as well because it's to do with
good.
that run through thing.
Fucking men, honestly. Long run yesterday. Absolute arseholes.
Oh no.
Well, not arseholes enough that you could throw anything at them or put them in prison, but just general
Arseholery.
Yeah.
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 Oh,
So,
bollocks. Okay, so much to discuss.
so much to discuss. How are you? What's going on?
I'm fine. I will perk. This is absolute classic, first of all, because we're back to Monday morning record.
Yes. Sorry.
So that's shit anyway.
Yeah.
But also I've achieved absolutely nothing at work this morning because I've been sitting talking to EE or I don't know, unnamed unnamed Wi-Fi people. Just trying to sort my I wanted to just shift over exactly the deal that we've got to the new house, but obviously that was complicated. And then it turned out that there was some sort of so I rung a week ago to try and sort this out, and it turned out there was some sort of weird admin error, literally nobody's fault type situation, where there was some weird anomaly on my account that meant that they couldn't change the address over. So they had to sort of open an incident or whatever and do all of this boring thing.
Oh my God.
So this was me ringing back a week later to go, what's going on? No one's got back in touch with me about my incident. And then it turns out they were like, oh no, yeah, we've not actually been able to start processing your incident yet because we've been processing your complaint. And I was like, huh?
Oh.
And you get that text after you've been on the phone to EE that says, how likely are you to recommend to a friend? How happy with you with your thing?
Oh yeah.
I said, for the first time ever, normally I go, hooray, great, or I ignore it. For the first time ever, I went, not that likely. That was a bit shit. Nobody explained what was going on to me. Because even if it is an admin error or whatever, it's absolutely not my bloody fault.
Yeah.
And they've made it seem like there was a lot of sighing, there was a lot of frustration, and I was like, I left the phone call going, I don't know what's happening, and I feel like I've ended up with a new problem rather than my previous problem solved. So I said that, and I was like, I'm a bit disappointed actually. It was a bit shit, and then that was it. That ended that. Didn't have anything further from that. But it turns out that's counted as a formal complaint.
MG.
And so they've been processing my formal complaint, and that and in the meantime have not been able to proceed with anything with my account because they've been worrying about the complaint. So I was fuming. I never get like this. I was like, I said, that's not on. I said that. Because I was like, first of all, I was like, it wasn't that deep. You cannot say to me, here's a questionnaire for you to fill in about your experience, and then if I don't answer 10s across the board, that was great, delay the process of something that I'm trying to resolve by saying that's you have to let me know if I'm making a formal complaint that's going to delay the process of my thing for a week.
That's ridiculous. If you're complaining about something being delayed and then it delays it further.
I know, it was so annoying. So I felt bad because the guy that I was speaking to was actually quite nice, but I was on the warpath at that point. I might have sworn. I definitely said, Jesus Christ, at one point. I was so annoyed. It was awful. Ugh, I'm not
Have you
going to go
resolved it?
I mean, kind of. I had to say I've resolved it and that I'm happy with the result. Otherwise, we all know what would be happening right now. But I don't feel entirely happy. I'm going to be paying slightly more for slightly shitter broadband in the new house. So I'm not very happy, but I don't. It was an hour, and I could see emails coming in and everything, and I was like, I just have to. I'm just going to have to say yes, fine, because basically they had to. I mean, who cares? Incredibly dull, but they had to set me up with like a new account basically because they were like, who knows how long it'll take to do all of this, and you need Wi-Fi for the day you move into the new house, so let's just set that up.
Oh my God.
So it was an absolute nightmare.
Oh my God. I hate that. I hate that having to talk to customer services and possibly in your case, like customer services that is maybe overly sort of woke.
Yes, he was trying to be like, and I get that that's frustrating. At one point, he went, and I can see that's more expensive for you there. And I was like, and so are you going to just do anything about that? Or are you going to, like, bless him. I think he
Mm.
just didn't have clearance to.
Yeah.
Like, he waived everything he could waive, but
Yeah.
he wasn't able to make it so that it wasn't more expensive for something that was not my fault to receive shitter product.
It
So
used to be
annoying.
in the olden days, like 15 years ago, you'd phone up for a new phone contract, and if they said, "Oh, that's gonna be £5 more expensive than last year," you'd say, "Oh, I wanna leave then." And then they'd say, "I'll put you through to my manager," and you speak to the manager, and the manager would go, "Okay, we'll take that £5 off." And you go, "Thanks
Yeah.
very much," and they put the
That's
phone
what
down.
I'd done before. So that's what I'd done before because my Wi-Fi was going up and I complained. And I wonder whether that might be the admin error because I the guy did something that he was like, I'm not supposed to do this, but or whatever.
Mm.
Who knows? But I
Maybe
think
he
that's what I'm
actually
gonna
wasn't
do.
supposed to do it.
I know, and it fucked up my account or something. So what I've done is I've committed to 2 years of a broadband deal that I don't really want to do.
Oh.
But I think I'm gonna let things play out for a few months, and then I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna go, "Look, I did this at the time because this happened. Whatever your cancellation fee is, I'll probably just pay it if I can go cheaper somewhere else, and then let's see what happens." So yeah, so we'll see. But that was
So
so frustrating, and it's
mhm,
everything is very expensive and very stressful. Is
yeah.
what I'm feeling at the moment.
Yeah, and you're kind of mid-cold as well, aren't you? So you've
I'm mid
got
cold. I was
lurgy as well
really
as
ill last week. I was playing it
yeah.
down because I couldn't be bothered to be ill, but I have been feeling really grim. So
Oh,
this is
mate.
me on the very much at the I have been saying for about 4 days I'm at the tail end of it, and I think I am finally at the tail end of it. I slept well because I could breathe through my nose last night. So
Oh, that's awful, isn't it?
oh,
It's
it's so
awful.
because all you
I
need is sleep, but you can't because you
You
keep waking
can't
up every 5 minutes because you think you're dying because you
yeah,
can't breathe through your
yeah,
nose.
just permanent sleep apnea. Like,
Yeah.
there was and about sort of, 10 years ago, I remember a friend saying to me, "Oh, yeah, when you get a cold, what you wanna get is one of these nose sprays." And she recommended this particular no not a saline one, but one with actual drugs in it. And she
Yeah.
said, "Use that as a nose spray." And I did, and it was absolutely life-changing, but in a really, really weird way, right? So
Yeah.
you'd spray if you've ever used it, you spray it into your
I'm wondering
nose.
whether you're gonna say a really similar thing to me.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah, you
I
go.
sprayed it into my nose, and so my thing was that I sprayed it into my nose. It was amazing. I was able to sleep, but it took away the it made your nose unblock, but you still had the cold in your head. So it was a very kind of discombobulating feeling. It's very strange
Yeah.
to not have a blocked nose at that point, but you could sleep. However, later on down the road, I think after a couple of chest infections, I went to a GP and I was getting some antibiotics, something or other, and they were like, "Oh my god, the devil's work. Never use those sprays up your nose."
I've had exactly the same conversation. So same
No.
thing. Last time I got ill, I went absolutely ham on one of those sprays.
Mm.
And and yeah, similarly, like it was absolutely great in the moment because it meant, oh yes, I've no problems with blocked nose, no dribbles. I can just
Mm.
breathe through my nose. This is great. And then I noticed for months afterwards that like my sinuses were like I was getting a bit headachy. My sinuses just like they felt a bit. I was getting sinus headaches, and it all felt a bit sore. And
Yeah.
then I went to the doctor, and she was like, "It could be the fact that you've been using those." Like I think I can't remember what she said they do, but it's basically like I think they just like expand your sinuses or something so that like it's less blocked. I that Juliet's probably
Mm.
listening, Dr. Juliet's, along with many other doctor people
I'm
that
just going,
listen
"Shut
and going,
up.
"What the
This
fuck are
is
you
not
talking about?
science." Yeah.
Sinuses can't expand." But something happens that's not like brilliant maybe for you. And this doctor
Yeah.
also was like, if I could ban them, I wish that I could ban them.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I think one of the things, if not all of it, is the fact that basically you are preventing your body from doing its natural job at getting rid of stuff. And so, like, obviously, when your nose is dripping, you are just you know fluid and things is getting
Mm.
removed from your body. And if you don't like blow your nose loads and loads and loads, then you're not getting rid of all this stuff, which could lead, I think, cod science alert, it
Mm.
could lead to that fluid building up into your in your lungs and stuff. You're not actually getting rid of stuff at all. It's just sitting there. And so
There you
if you're prone
go.
to chest infections, then you're going to get a chest infection. But yeah, they are to be avoided at all costs, I think.
It's mad, but they are like crack because I had
Mm,
that one still, and it was sitting in my bedside table drawer. And the
yeah.
whole time that I was lying in bed feeling sorry for myself with that cold, I was
Mm,
itching to reach for it,
yeah.
for my
Don't
kit.
do
But I was like, I can't because I know that I'm going to feel grim. So
Yeah.
thank God I feel like I'm out the other side, but it has been a very blocked and dribbly. And
Oh.
Thursday I texted you, didn't I, at about lunchtime,
Mm,
and I was like, I'm going to take the afternoon off and go to bed.
yeah.
And I really diligently did, and I sat there and didn't really manage to sleep because of the nose, but I didn't do anything for the rest of the day.
Good girl.
And then I woke up in the morning and I decided I was better, which was definitely not true. But I thought, I've done my being good. I've done my lying in the bed and not doing anything
Yeah.
and being bored. So I can get on with my life now. On Friday, I had both a bikini wax and a physiotherapy appointment. And I went to them with this cold. And honestly, please feel free to come for me in the emails. I know that's definitely not really a good thing to do, especially post COVID, to be going around
Yeah.
and spreading my germs. However, both of these women were like, I've got snotty children. I really, really don't care. So it was a
Yeah.
consensual experience. But yeah, the bikini wax, little bit of a nightmare, not too bad. I think it hurt more than normal, but I
I
didn't
think that's a
have
thing.
to.
I do think that's a thing.
Yeah, I think I was more
Yeah.
sensitive in
Mm.
general, but it was generally fine, apart from the fact that I couldn't breathe through my nose.
Mhm.
The physio, nightmare, because I had to put my head through the head hole.
Oh, no.
And I had to say to her, I'm really sorry, can you pass me a tissue? I'm going to snot onto your toes.
Oh, no.
I
Disastrous.
know. It was really embarrassing. I did
Yeah.
offer to wear a mask or something, but she was like, no, all my kids are ill and it's fine. So I don't know.
Oh my God.
So that was a bit
Oh,
embarrassing. And then I went for drinks for my
yeah.
sister-in-law's birthday that evening. I was absolutely, by this point, desperate not to go. I
Yeah.
really had pushed it too hard, and I realized that I pretended not to be ill, but I knew that I really was. And I turned up and I had an espresso martini
Ooh,
because I
yes,
thought
good
that's
shout.
going to
Yeah.
sort me out. But no, I just I
Oh.
spent an hour feeling like I was underwater and like I couldn't understand anything anyone was talking
Oh,
about, and went
no.
home.
Oh,
I know,
no.
so it's a bit sad. So the last few days have been a bit of a write off, but yesterday, I'm so sorry, I'm
Mm.
talking at you 100 miles an hour. I feel like we haven't caught up in a while.
We haven't. No, it's
Um,
true.
but yesterday I had a bit more of an exciting fun day where
Yeah.
we went to Cribs Causeway.
Oh, now there's excitement.
I know.
Okay.
And we went to
Might
the
have
big.
might have okay, so that's the big shopping centre near us in Bristol.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, you might have to explain. Maybe that's quite a West Country
Yeah.
day out.
It's weird that not everyone knows where Cribs is, right?
I know. Big day out. Went to
Yeah.
Cribs. And we spent most of that time in a very large, very lovely John Lewis.
Oh, I love that John Lewis. Yeah.
It was amazing. So we got really excited, and I think we found our sofa,
Ooh, how
which was
exciting.
good.
Yeah.
And we also, oh, I tell you what, we went to Loaf. That was miserable.
Oh, that what? Because everything starts from about £1,500 upwards. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I thought that over £1,000 for a sofa was insane, and then
yeah,
we went there, and it was like 4 grand for a 2-seater sofa or something, and it was like,
yeah.
oh my god. So yeah, but we I tell you what, relatively not good, but
Mm.
relatively well priced are their bed frames. So I think that's going to be
Ah,
our treat bit of furniture, because their
yeah,
bed frames are about the same sort of price as they are in John Lewis. And I was like, well, you know what? I really like that one. So I think that's going to be my
yeah.
mum gave us a bit of money for furniture. So I think that's what I'm going to spend it on, as a
Nice.
posh bed frame. Anyway, how dull. That's what we did yesterday.
No, that's exciting. It's
It was quite
exciting.
exciting.
So the move is going to be quite soon, right?
The move is 10 days from day of recording.
MG.
I
Oh my
know.
God. Are you all packed? You don't look as though you're packed.
No, you can see behind me, it's chaos. There's still things on the walls. I was actually thinking that during this call. I was like, I need to start taking things off the walls.
Yeah.
But you can't really see it but behind that bookshelf,
Yes.
that's where all the boxes are. So that bookshelf actually has
Ah.
no books in it anymore because they've all been packed.
Great.
It is a considerably sparser flat,
Mhm.
but yeah, I am a bit anxious because obviously we're away this weekend at Vitality,
We
and
are.
we really should have done more sorting over the weekend, but I was not feeling very well on Saturday, and I wanted to go to John Lewis yesterday when I was feeling better. So
Oh, fuck it. You'll be
I know,
fine.
yeah, it
You
should
got
be all right.
evenings. We'll be all right.
Well,
We'll be
I
good.
think the furniture thing I thought was going to be a nice treat. I was like, we'll move in and then we'll look for all our furniture. We don't need loads. It's just, but there are a
Mm.
couple of big purchases that we need to do, like sofa, bed, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I I've been really looking forward to those, and I thought that we would just sort of move in and go, oh, what suits the space? What should we do? It turns out like we need to sort of order a sofa now if we want it to arrive before Christmas and stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God,
So
yeah.
it's slightly stressful. So that's why really I should have been sorting out more packing here, but that's why I actually was like, I want to go and look at a sofa because I want to choose one now, because otherwise I'm worried we're going to have to sit on camping chairs for 4 months.
Oh. Oh
But
God.
I know it's all going to be so weird.
Yeah, it is gonna be weird. It's gonna be
Mm,
amazing, but it will be a state of flux for a little bit,
it will.
but it will be
And we're
incredible.
moving offices, which is dull for everyone to hear about. But
Oh, we are.
yeah, it's all, there's a lot of change.
There is a lot of change going on. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Oh, it'll be amazing. It will be. I promise.
I hope it will. I'm
Yeah.
hoping, my big hope now is that it's not going to be incredibly anticlimactic. It might be a bit. Everybody does say that you get the keys and then you're like, ah, well, there we are.
Um, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think no, that's wrong. I think I am gonna say here now that is not wrong. I mean, it's not like party every day, excitement and everything, and obviously you go through all of that, but I just remember when I first bought my first flat, I remember walking around stroking the walls and
Oh,
thinking, "It's mine.
yeah.
It's mine. It's mine. It's
I
lovely."
think I will feel a bit like that. And I guess because it's so different that we've lived in a flat, I am desperately excited that we're going to have stairs,
You are gonna have
our
stairs.
own stairs. We're going to
Yeah.
have, I've just thought that I'm going to need to think about installing a handrail for my dad, otherwise he's not getting up there. Anyway, and a garden. Oh,
Yeah.
two patios, which makes it sound like a huge garden. It's really not. There's just two. There just happen to be two patios. But there's what I'm going to be calling uh I haven't quite decided on the name for the large patio yet, but the small patio is definitely the gin and tonic veranda.
Or maybe the other one could be the quad.
Oh yes,
Something like
nice.
that.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I remember the stairs thing, and I remember actually, because this is even before I was working on women's running that we moved here, but I remember at the time just thinking, moving to a house, it's got stairs, somewhere I can do my calf raises. Like where
Oh my god, I haven't even thought about that.
private calf raises. You don't have to be on
Oh,
a
I don't have
curb.
to go on a, yeah, or go in our shared corridor where I'm terrified to go because of the horrible neighbours.
Yeah, and no more horrible neighbours.
I cannot wait for no more horrible neighbours. I am a
Yeah.
bit nervous that what if we fall out with these ones and we can't,
I know. If
we
you do
can't
fall out
move.
of these ones, you're gonna figure out that the problem actually isn't the neighbours, aren't you? Because I think if it happens twice in a row, then it's probably you. I think
Yeah,
you are the issue.
then I'm probably
That's
the issue and we're
yeah,
arseholes.
yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon, yeah.
Well, I think that I will just go and say hello to them. That's my plan.
Okay.
And we were thinking about
Mhm.
potentially having a sort of mini Halloween gathering.
Mhm.
So maybe I'll say to them, like, maybe we'll just do a sort of open door thing. And I'll say, oh, feel free to pop round. Is that too
Goodness.
much?
I
Doug will
don't
probably
know.
hate that, but I would love that.
It depends. I tell you what, figure out how many of them have got kids,
Yeah, that's true.
because you could put a pumpkin outside and, that actually makes it sound as though you're kind of being a bit like a
Children,
child
lollipop.
catcher. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I don't mean that.
I think well, I'm hoping that they do. I think all you need to do is put a pumpkin outside and that indicates that you don't mind people coming and knocking on your door.
Yes,
So I
that's
think
the
we'll do that because I really don't mind that. I'd love that
yeah.
because since we've lived in a flat, we haven't had a trick or treater for I
No.
don't know. I can't remember. the last time, because even when we were sort of students and stuff, I don't think people really came round that bit.
No, I think they probably would learn that it's not a sort of valuable place to go
No,
to get lots
exactly.
of
So you might
chocolate.
get a pot noodle or something, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I think
Yeah.
I would really love that. I bet you have. I bet it's trick or treating mad around yours.
Mental. Absolutely
Yeah.
mental, and I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. It is crazy. We might as well just keep the door open between sort of 5 and 7 because it's just a constant stream and people know. So it's become a bit of it's a road that there is Halloween tourism and
It's a hotspot.
it is a hotspot. Yeah.
Busier than usual on Google Maps.
Definitely. What I like is that there are some parents that really, really dress up as well and really sort of take it to the nth degree, and that's quite
Oh,
funny.
that's
And
fun.
there's also people really decorate their houses and things. So it's we
Oh,
don't.
I've seen actually. I've seen. I remember last year I came round around Halloween time and you pointed out some of the. There's that
Oh
woman
yeah.
with all the
All
pumpkins.
the pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's lovely. Yeah, the
Oh.
entire front garden is all squashes and pumpkins. And when the kids go there to get their sweets, she also gives them a little squash or a pumpkin to take away.
A
So I think that
munchkin.
I know it's so
Oh, that's
cute.
so sweet.
So cute. So with all your I was gonna say, with all your sofa shopping and
Mm.
your planning and stuff like that, how has the training been
It
going?
has been dog shit. I'm going to let all of you know now who are coming to Vitality on
Mhm.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Do not fear. If you have barely done anything, I have been for about 3 runs in preparation for this. And I
Fair
think the
enough.
longest one I've done is about 5K. So
Mhm.
honestly, nothing. I am planning, now that I'm feeling better, to go for a run tonight. With Lex. We've been
Mhm.
doing a post work. I think I talked about that last week, didn't I?
Mhm.
We've been doing a post work sort of 6 o'clock run
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
a
you did.
Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's been really nice.
That's
I've
nice.
been loving that because then I got
Mhm.
something to look forward to after work, and it gets me going. But I mean, my main aim is just going to be to take it chill and not get injured really now because I've only got 5 days before the race.
Yeah, that's true. Do you know,
Um,
I've just realized there is an email that I have failed to forward to you, I think, from last Friday. I just kept it to myself, and it was so on Sunday we're running with Bryony
yeah,
and with Helen from
Helen.
Scummy Mummies.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not going to speak to Helen.
Why not?
Because she's just going to be so fast and good, and I shan't be making eye contact with her.
Okay, fair enough. Um,
No, of course I will, but
so there were some group emails going around on Friday between the Vitality organisers and
Mhm.
Bryony and Helen, and there's been some kind of vague chat over the last week or so about how we kind of indicate that we are who we are and make sure that people can meet us and see us and stuff like this. I know I can see your face, right? So,
Oh God.
okay, just as a small preamble, I think maybe 6 years ago, that Bryony and Helen and Deb James and yeah,
We're
and
not.
no, no, we are fucking not. All these people
Okay.
decided to get together and wear pants to run the Vitality 10K in order I think it was a body positivity thing, wasn't it? It
Mhm.
was the,
It was called Celebrate You.
Celebrate You,
Yeah.
that's right. It was all about body positivity, and it made all the papers, unsurprisingly, with a bunch of women running around London in their pants with their names written on the back of the pants. Anyway, yeah, Bryony on Friday, just very short email, which is what is a very Bryony thing to do, and she went, "Right, Helen, do you fancy doing it in your pants? Esther, are you up for it?" And Helen immediately went, "Yeah, I'm game."
Oh my God.
I left it for about half an hour, and then I replied and went, like, not even Dave has seen my knees in, like, 12 years. I'm not no. And I didn't even I don't think I even put all the words in. I was just like,
It's also
yeah."
too late. I feel like it's too late. I don't have any good pants. I have a pair of like underwear pants that are big and good. All the other running pants I have are thongs. That
Mm,
I'm going to be
mm.
arrested if I do that. I've got one pair of underwear pants that are like big running pants, but
Yeah.
they are like the logo's all worn and they've bit unravelly and they look I've had them about 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, it was for me, it was a hard no.
Yeah.
So so I reckon so, if you're coming on Sunday, you can spot me and Holly not in our
Yeah,
pants.
we'll be the ones not wearing just pants, so that's how you
Exactly,
can spot us.
quite, and I did confirm that we would wear pants, but we would also be wearing things over the top of those pants. Um, but I mean, we can wear our like Pod Squad t-shirts, can't we? So we'll wear
Yeah.
those, and everyone can spot us wearing those. But like, if you're expecting me and Holly to turn up in our underwear to run a 10K, then you are sorely mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not for
no,
free, darling. You're not
no.
getting that for free.
In amongst all of these conversations, Luke from Vitality was oddly quiet.
I bet
Didn't
he's
comment.
gutted, actually.
Anyway, yeah, so that'll be
So they
we
are
are
wearing their pants.
I don't know. I don't know. They might have gone off and had a separate conversation and said, "Well, fuck those boring lot. We are gonna wear
Yeah.
our pants." I don't know.
If it had been a whole thing, I would have geared myself up and
I
psyched myself
know.
up to wear pants, and I would have bought myself some big underwear pants with my name on the back or something.
Yeah.
But I would have practiced. Jeez, I mean, how? But I would have run around the flat or something like that. But I don't
Mm.
think I would be up for doing a 10K spontaneously in my pants.
I would I mean, it shouldn't come as any surprise to you to know that none of those things would ever I couldn't even imagine running a 10K in shorts, let alone pants. I mean, absolutely not.
I would have to
Absolutely
know
not.
that there were going to be no photographs, but as we well know from the Celebrate You situation, there
Oh,
were a lot and they live
they were in the
on.
bloody Daily
They use
Mail
them
and
all the
stuff.
time.
They
They
use
still
them
use
all the
them.
time.
Yeah.
They do, they do.
Oh, I feel bad. I feel like we should be supporting the body positive movement but I'm going to fly a flag here for body neutrality,
Yeah.
which is what I aim to do because it's exhausting trying to think that I'm a beautiful goddess all the time.
Mm.
When sometimes I don't know, burping and farting and stuff. And it's like, just let me be. Um, I will fly a flag there and say that genuinely as a body neutral choice, I just don't think it will be very comfortable for me running in my pants. I'm not showing off, but I do have
Mm.
quite I have been generously gifted a large arse,
Mm.
and often that involves things riding up a lot. And I just think that would be so uncomfortable and visible to everyone.
Mm.
And just, yeah, I just feel not a great solution really there.
Yeah.
What
I
socks
don't
do you
think it's
wear? What socks do you wear with your pants to
I
run?
know, right? Well,
Do you go
not
long? Do you go
I
ankle?
God, if I was just wearing pants, I would go like waist high socks, right?
Yeah,
Tights.
perfect heights. Perfect. What do you mean? I am wearing my pants. I've just got my socks on. So
Pulled over my head.
oh god. It's honestly, I do get it. I do get it, and it's great. And I love
Mm.
Bryony and I love Helen, and they are fantastic and they're very brave women. And they don't. Well, I guess it's not even really that they're brave. They don't care. They're great. They're
Mm.
great. They've really mastered that. Like, this is about me, and I don't fucking care what you think
Yeah.
I look like when I'm doing it. But it is a barrier for women, and there are a lot of women. Like, I still sometimes, if I'm having a shit day with my body, I will still look at myself sometimes and go, I don't even feel very comfortable going out in leggings. Like,
Yeah.
it's a big deal for women
It's
because there
massive,
aren't
isn't
a
it?
lot of there's not a lot of available gym kit that doesn't
Yeah.
make you feel like you're quite on show. And sometimes you don't really want everyone to see every dimple of cellulite or bit of
No.
roll because that's just not, you don't really fancy it that day. But I don't know.
And you
Maybe
know
I'm
what?
being
No.
sacrilegious to the body positive community by saying this.
I know I don't think you are because I think you can think many thoughts at the same time which feed into the same stuff, right? So like I am thoroughly body positive about everyone else's body aside from my own. And I think that can be, you know, I can admire and love everyone's bodies, I think, and you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I think it is brave, but on the other hand, it's not necessarily I don't think you need to be brave. You need to have zero fucks, don't you, as well?
Mm.
because what other people think is none of your business, sort of thing.
I've got a
Um,
lot of fucks,
yeah, me too.
and
I don't
I'm
have zero
desperately
fucks. I've
trying
got
to
many
get rid of
fucks.
them. I'm still
Yeah.
working on it, but I'm not ready for that
No,
few
nor
fucks
am I.
yet.
I tell you what, though, it does feed into something I was going to slightly rant about when I went on my run yesterday. So that's
Mm.
quite it's quite useful. In that, I was going to say, what are your thoughts? So we've had our thoughts about us running in our pants and women generally wearing whatever the fuck they want to run in.
Yeah.
What about men who take their tops off? I'm going to
Okay.
leave that there.
I've got many thoughts about this.
Let's hear them.
I I suppose I think I used to think it was really unfair
Hmm.
because I mean I still maybe think that. I'm not saying used to thinking that now I don't think that, but I suppose my main thought used to just be like, "Oh, that's really unfair because I would be arrested if I did that."
Yeah.
Um but I guess the more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, well, it's not really men's like I can't even about to say this, but I guess it's not the responsibility of those individual men. Like, should we punish them for the fact that they are freely able to take their tops off if they get hot? Or should we just be pointing the finger really at a societal thing that we are a bit funny about interpreting nudity as sexual when it's not always, you know?
But I don't know if I see it. I do understand that, but I'm not sure I see it as sexual.
Is it just uncouth? You see it as uncouth?
I see it as uncouth. I see it. I do. I do. I'm going to put it there. But I also see it as being a power move as
Yeah.
well. I see it as peacocking.
It is a bit peacocky. Like, I do get that sometimes. I don't know. Maybe before we started recording, we were actually talking about how sometimes this is awful, but we can't be bothered to have really strong opinions on things anymore because
It's true.
because it's just there's so
It's
much
too much
horror
hard
in the world.
work. Yeah.
But which obviously take with a pinch of salt. We do still have
Mhm.
lots of opinions, but I think maybe that's how I feel. I think I used to feel all of those things too. I think I used to be like, "That's really unfair. You're rubbing it
Mm.
in." That's a slap in the face to gender equality because I couldn't do that and I couldn't behave like that, and it would be incredibly rude, and you would be feel in danger, and you would feel ogled at, and you would feel like the police might come and take you away if you were running around without a top on. But
Mm.
like I don't know. I suppose I genuinely feel like if it's more comfortable, am I allowed to really have an issue with that? Like, okay, let me throw this in the mix. And
Yeah.
this is a terrible argument that we're having here because there's absolutely no structure to it. And I have 0 points that I've made so far. But I saw a thing on Facebook the other day about a woman. We should actually talk, see if we can talk to her. A woman who runs topless because she's had a double mastectomy and
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I've
she
spoken to
like
her.
is sort of have you and she's
Yeah.
been trying to sort of raise awareness for for women who
Mm.
and their body image, especially around if you've had mastectomies. And I guess maybe is it a similar thing? It's not
Yeah,
because she's
yes.
got she's got a point to make about
Yeah.
acceptance of women's bodies. But I guess I worry about if I start going, oh, that's okay for men to do, but I'm still fighting the power a little bit about freeing the
Yeah.
nipple and not wanting women to feel like they should be policed in what they wear, then am I being, is it, is that an unfair double standard? Am I setting myself up to be caught out by my own logic?
Yeah. I don't think you are, I think I am, and I agree. I do think that I think her name's Sarah, I think it's, she's making all sorts of actual political points there
Yeah.
in running with no top on and doing lots of stuff with no top on. I think she's in and I think we can give her the moniker brave because she bloody is because she's been through a hell of a lot, and
Yeah,
what
yeah,
she's
for
doing is
sure.
raising lots of awareness about body positivity when you look different, not by choice. Not that everyone anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but there's that. The guy that I'm thinking of yesterday who was running around with no top on, um, it's two things. It's not it's I think the unfairness thing, I don't really have that anymore. I do think it's posturing because
Mm.
I honestly don't see that there is any difference between how you might feel wearing a really great running top and not wearing a running top at all. I don't see there's any, or he could even have been wearing a running vest, and that would, there's like 2 ounces of fabric on your body. It's going to make no
Mm.
difference to your body, but it's posturing not. And I wouldn't specifically say that what he was doing was massively posturing necessarily to women. It's just to everyone, and probably specifically to blokes, like a oi oi oi, check me out. And what I thought was quite weird about it was that he was running. No, he wasn't running on his own. And I see guys do this when it is not hot enough to do it. So that's number one. So I see men doing it when people are in cardies,
I mean,
and I,
I do see
I
men
think, what
doing
the
it also.
fuck?
What I generally put that down to, I suppose, I've always thought of that as that person doesn't have appropriate gym wear for some reason, whether it's that they can't afford it or they've just decided to go out for a run for the first time today and they don't
And they're
know
wearing
what
a
to,
cotton t-shirt or
and
something.
they're wearing, yeah,
You're
a,
so
a, a
kind.
pair of jersey joggers and no top or whatever.
I think you are just, I think generally speaking in life you are much kinder about people than I am,
Well,
because
am
my
I
my
sounding like a men's rights activist, though? I'm worried about.
what about men?
Yeah.
No, I think, because I don't know. Right, so to give some context, I was running along the canal path, obviously, and I was doing a very long run yesterday, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And there were it was a small group, so it was 2 men and 1 girl, and she was on a bike riding alongside, and she was clearly like the support team. I think she had like the water and stuff with her, and they were also doing quite a long run. I know because I was sort of following them and da da da. Um, but one spent most of it with his top off, and one spent all of it with his top on.
Yeah.
And I thought that the posturing of the top off guy was basically to his buddy, his running
Oh,
buddy.
he
It
was
was just
trying
like,
to be like,
just like, "Check me out."
look at me.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, a little bit. And I just think it's kind of I just don't like it. I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. I just don't think it's
I
right,
definitely
Hol. Don't think it's right.
I have had similar thoughts before, and I think I'm only speaking from a sort of philosophical point of view where I'm going, oh, because I don't want to be caught up by my own logic. Because if somebody said to me, I don't like what you're wearing there, or that seems like you're showing off your body or whatever, then I'd be
Yeah,
like, fuck off. But I also appreciate that it's not that things aren't black and white like that, are they? It's not
they're
like
not.
it's
Also,
like
right?
being a bit like everybody experiences racism or something, isn't it? It's like fuck off. So
No.
I suppose it's a similar thing, isn't it? Where it's like I know that it isn't the exact same thing applies to men as applies to women. So maybe I don't need to be so worried about getting myself in a corner.
Yeah.
I have actually been I let's get some men involved in this conversation. That is what I would like to do. And I wish right now we were Radio 5 Live and we could get our
Someone
team
just to phone in,
to
yeah.
phone in, because I have been in a I've been in a pub garden with Doug before where he
Oh,
was
I
like,
hate
I'm
that.
really, really hot, and he took his shirt off. And
No.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He absolutely nothing. He is the sort of person that would walk around naked without a care in the world and would not see that to other people that might be weird. And
Oh my
I was
god.
mortified and I was like, put that back on. But and he didn't. I think he compromised actually, but he had a shirt and he sort of left it a bit open or something.
Oh
But
my god.
yeah, I find that really strange. But then I suppose
I'm shocked at Doug.
I know,
Shocked.
but then that's not I don't think that's a posturing thing. I don't think he's the sort of
No.
person who's particularly sort of proud of his body or anything that he's like, oh, ha ha ha. I think he was just hot, and it doesn't even cross his mind that you might just have to
Yeah,
be a bit uncomfortably hot because you have to wear clothes. But
fair
that's
enough.
what we have to deal with all the time as women. Like
Yeah,
I think that's what I said. I was like, I'm hot, but I'm not just going to take my fucking top off, mate, because
yeah.
I would be immediately thrown out of the pub.
Yeah, a pub situation is a whole other
It's
ball game. It's a
a
pub.
private venue, come on. That to me, I was like, "That's rude."
But my thing with the running is that this guy, the guy with the naked guy, he ended up putting his top back on after a little while. And I thought, how horrible would that be? If you're running in a t-shirt, right, and it gets all sweaty and stuff and you decide to take it off, that's one thing, but then putting it back on,
Yeah,
I
that's a bit
mean,
grim. Also,
ugh.
just practically thinking about it, you thought it would be less annoying to
Mhm.
take the t-shirt off, hold it, presumably,
Mm.
for the whole run.
Oh, no, they always tuck it in the back of their shorts, don't they? That's what those
Oh,
people
I see,
do.
that's what they do, because I was gonna
That's what they
say,
do.
even if I've, like, had a hat, if I have to take a hat off and hold a hat, then I'm like,
Oh.
"Fuck off." Sorry, I'm so sweary and angry today. It's because I had the EE conversation before the pod today. It's really bad. But I would be cross if I had to take off, like, I would never, you wouldn't catch me holding on to a t-shirt rather than, I would
Or yeah,
always
rather than just
sweat
wear
through
it.
it. Yeah, because 'cause
Yeah,
I'd be like, "Oh,
yeah.
but what's the alternative? Bundling it up and carrying it along for the
But
run
then
with me."
also putting it back on again when it's all sweaty and cold and nasty, I mean, it's just stupid.
Mm.
It's silly behaviour. But anyway, right, so just to move on slightly
I would
from
like
that,
to
and
say,
do
though, for
write
men,
in.
please write in. If you are a man who takes your top off, or like me, are the victim of being in a relationship or associated with a man in any way who takes his shirt off in public,
Yes.
please write in. I would call Doug and put him on the pod right now, but he gets really angry with me when I try and get him on the podcast.
Yeah, don't do that, don't do that. But ask his thoughts later on so we can have a quote from Doug, because that would be really interesting to know his point of view.
Yeah.
Um,
I tell you what, actually, shall I quickly? Is this unprofessional? I'm going to
Slightly.
send him a voice note.
Okay, she's gonna do it.
Hello. I'm on the podcast right now, and I don't want to ring you because I know you'd probably be a bit angry if I forced you upon the podcast. But we are talking about men who wear no t-shirt when they're running around outside. And I would like to know, as a man who sometimes takes his top off in public, what are your thoughts on that? And do you think it's appropriate? And why is it? Why do you feel that that's okay? And would you ever be worried, I guess, about whether that might be inappropriate or what other people might think of you? Thank you very much. We'd love a quote from you for the pod. Okay, we'll see.
Ooh!
We'll see whether he gets back to us in time.
See, now he didn't do it around John Lewis though, did he?
No, absolutely not. And weirdly, Doug is the sort of person that, like, he does sort of care about, like if we're going to an event or something, then, like, he likes to dress smartly. I wouldn't say that he is typically a sort of scruffy person. Like, he irons his t-shirts. As you
Yeah.
know, I've talked about this before.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Oh,
maybe
well,
it
that'll
is,
be an interesting thing.
maybe it's showing off. I'd never ever considered it. But,
Let's
like,
find out.
maybe he does quite like to go, "Everyone look at me, I've got no shirt on." Oh, really? I don't know. Or
But
actually, probably most likely in that instance in the pub garden, he's trying to get an excuse. Doug's quite a tanner.
oh,
Yeah, he
really?
loves getting bronzed. So that might have been something I hadn't considered
Seriously, I
there.
think you said like 2 things on this podcast about Doug, which has been like completely shook my world
No, he's a
about,
maverick.
like, what?
He's such a confusing person. Why would
So
you think that
strange.
he would be? He is a little Welsh boy with absolutely no melanin in his skin at all. But yet he loves getting bronzed. Doug uses Dove summer body stuff sometimes. Like, he likes a gradual tan even in summer because he gets embarrassed to get his pegs out. He mustn't listen to this episode. I'll put my hand up too and say me too. We've all used a bit of
Oh,
Dove
you
summer
live
body lotion, but
always, always. Yeah, love
yeah.
it.
But yeah, no, the top thing surprises me too, because yeah, I agree. He's not
Mhm.
absolutely, he wouldn't do that in John Lewis. And if I suggested he would, he'd be like, "No, that's so embarrassing."
Mm.
So yeah, but on a run, from a practical perspective, I do agree with you that I think, is it really worth it? You're gonna get burned. Have you put sun cream on?
Probably not. I like
Yeah.
but yesterday when I was witnessing this awful behaviour along the canal path, um, well, there were a couple of things that were springing to mind because, like, I was getting slightly cross about behaviour as I was running, and I was getting
Mhm.
more and more cross because it was more and more, the run was getting more and more and more uncomfortable. I went for an 18-mile run yesterday. 18 miles.
That's incredible, by the way. I'm
I
very
w
proud of
I was
you.
really proud of myself. Thank
Mhm.
you. I was really pleased particularly because my training has been very, very on and off, right? So,
Mhm.
like last kind of month, it was something like 13 miles, 14 miles, 15 miles, 14 miles, and then 18 miles, like, because
I
I was
mean,
like, "Shit."
very consistent, but
Sort of, but not quite. Anyway, and I really needed to kind of chuck in that very, very long one because I think this is going to be my last long one before the marathon. And normally I would have done 18, 20, 22. So I haven't. I've just done 18.
but
It'll
that's
just have to
fine.
be.
Don't forget, how much training did you do when you did the Bath Beat similar run?
Oh yeah, fuck all, 3 miles.
You did
So
3 miles, so I think 18 is pretty good going on
I
that
hope so.
front.
But I was 5 years younger, so like, anyway.
Oh, 5 years does not 15 miles make.
That's the quote at the top of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping it'll be all right. But yeah, obviously, as I ran, I was having lots of thoughts and feelings about the people around me. And as the run progressed, it got later and later in the morning, so the path got busier. So we had this group, and one thing that I did really like about it, it was these two chaps and this girl riding alongside, and they were doing a substantial run. I don't know if it was as long as mine,
Mm.
but it was quite a substantial run.
Mhm.
So at one point, they overtook me, and that's when I witnessed the first, no shirt run.
Yeah.
But then they stopped and they had some water and they regrouped, and I ran past them. And then they ran past me again. And then they stopped. And then I ran past them.
A
And then they
classic.
ran past me
Just a
again. And I was like,
classic.
just
Yeah.
just shut up. And then eventually, thankfully, they stopped entirely, which was just by the George. And I ran past, never to see them ever again.
Mhm.
So I think that was the end of their run. And that did just make me think it was a real tortoise and hare moment because I was just like, because I was plodding, I was incredibly slow yesterday because I was like, I don't want to have another horrible run like I did last weekend.
Yeah.
So I took it super slow. But alongside
It was
those
quite warm
people,
yesterday as well, wasn't it?
it was, yeah,
Or was it?
warmish, but
I
it,
don't
it
know.
was all right. It was okay. But alongside those, I also met a group of men running towards me. So I would say there was probably 7 or 8 men running in a pack towards me, almost three abreast. So really like the full width of the canal path. They didn't move an inch to let me past. Not an inch. They didn't like try and run behind each other. They didn't spot me from a mile off and try. There was no one else. It was just me. There was no one behind me. And it was this group of 8 men running towards me. I had to run onto the grass. So I was like inches away from the actual canal. And they didn't move a bit.
That's
So
awful.
all gallantry gone. And one of them just stared at me as he ran past. And I had to do like a little semicircle around them.
Oh, that would make me tempted to go, "Excuse me?" Or, one of those, an
Yeah.
exasperated,
I would think I was on mile 16 at this point, and
"Oh
so
my
all I could
god."
manage was a sort of "fuck's sake,"
Yeah,
which they wouldn't have
nice.
heard, because all of my fuck's sakes are always sort of slightly sotto
That
voice.
is so
But
rude. Can you believe that?
so rude.
Who do they think they are? Think they own these fucking canal paths?
I think they think that they're cyclists because that's what cyclists do to me quite a lot, actually. I've had 2 abreast cyclists on the canal path where I've had to run onto the grass.
Really
Bastards.
bad. You could fall into the canal. You could be
I
victim
could
of a swan attack.
A swan attack. They were
You
quite
could do a
close.
canal boat Amy. A
I could.
multitude of terrible fates could await you.
Yeah. Horrific. Absolutely horrific.
That's really bad, and I think
I
that's
know.
incredibly rude.
It was
I
rude.
would the only times I think that I've not moved when I've been running is if
Mm.
I've been utterly exhausted and if I've sort of locked eyes with the person and we've established that we're
Yeah.
not gonna bump into each other. Otherwise, of course you have to
Of course you have to shift. And
shift. Yeah.
but then I don't know. I'm my mother's daughter and I know that I've seen her before like shift to one side of a path about half a mile before the oncoming person comes towards her. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, anxiety about someone being like half a mile away. Right, let's get into position.
That's
Um,
probably what I would do as well,
which is
really. Mhm.
overcompensating potentially. But and I've also had people, like, I guess older people as well, mostly older people who will completely stop when there is plenty of space for 2 people to cross,
Yeah.
but completely stop. But whenever people do any of those sorts of things, whenever they make lots of space, I always say thank you. And, you know, but if it's a runner coming towards me, you do tend to sort of, if not lock eyes, at least kind of figure out what side of the path you're gonna be on and blah, blah, blah. But for a whole group of young men to not shift an inch,
No, I
and
think that's
I just thought
incredibly rude.
it was really rude.
That's much ruder to me than the shirts.
Yeah, it is actually, yeah, because
Yeah.
it felt almost also, it's like, who else are you gonna do this to on this path? So there's gonna be loads of kind of people walking, dog walking, gonna be cyclists, gonna be kids, gonna be old people, like, are you kind of expecting everybody to get the fuck out of your way? And why would you run in such a formation?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
if I
so
was running
dumb.
in a group of 8 people along at what is a single track path, I reckon single file, double at most
Yeah,
if there's no one
double
around.
yeah, double if yeah, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Oh, I'm really
Ridiculous.
angry about that. That has really
Mm.
annoyed me on your behalf.
Thank you very
Uh,
much.
by the way, if we want to get more angry, I've had a response. Shall we hear what Doug has
Shit.
to say?
Have
Hope
you
it's
listened to
polite.
it?
Other
Do
no,
you
it
know
might be horrible. We might have to get Dave to cut it out. Let's see.
Well, clearly, handsome men are allowed. Handsome men can do what they like. But if you're not handsome, then just shame. Just be ashamed.
I think he's got a chip on his shoulder there.
I think he has.
Weirdly, I
Okay.
think the opposite of Doug.
Do you?
I think that when handsome men do it, that's when I start to get that thing that you were talking about slight posturing, where I'm like, all right, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then that's bad because then that's like when men go, oh, she's really showing off because
Yeah.
she might happen to have a very shapely, lovely arse or something, and that's like it's not her fault. So I shouldn't do
Yeah.
that, should I? Weirdly,
Flaunting themselves. Yeah,
yes, that feels like they're
yeah.
flaunting themselves, but that's unfair. Whereas if I saw a man with a very normal, you know, dad
Mhm.
bod, let's call it, even though that's probably a problematic term, then
Yes.
I would feel fine about that, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Maybe it's feeling threatened about certain situations.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I tell you what, I'm gonna veer off wildly because
Let's.
I've just remembered that I've got a running story to tell you that's not mine. Um,
Oh,
but
well,
it's
should we tie it in with the sort of letters
yes, let's
then?
do that. Okay,
Okay.
so this is from me, and this is to put the fear of God into you. You ready for this?
Yes. Oh,
Oh my
no.
God.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Honestly, it was a conversation that seemed to just go from bad to worse. I met up with a friend, and she was telling me about the experiences of a friend of hers. So it's no one I know. Shout out to Polly because this
Nice.
is her experience. Um, so she was telling me that she works with someone who had to phone her from A&E after going on a run, and the reason she was in A&E is because as she was running along, a wasp flew into her throat and
Oh my
stung
God.
the back of her throat, and she coughed it back out again, but then her throat started swelling. And so she was sort of a little way away from home. She had to run home while she felt her throat swelling up.
Oh my God. This is my worst
Phone
nightmare.
It was awful, isn't it? She had to phone the ambulance to come, and then she had to have the kind of peace of mind to position herself outside in her front garden. She was worried that she might collapse inside and they wouldn't be able to get in. The ambulance didn't come for half an hour, and then they phoned back and said, "Sorry, no ambulances." But at which point she had phoned her husband, and her husband came and picked her up and took her to the hospital and all this sort of thing. And then she was just rammed full of and she had the presence of mind also to take a Piriton when I would never have had as soon as,
No.
like, I was being told this, I was like, "What do you do? What do you do?"
I
I
honestly
would
have
just
no idea.
panic,
I'm
panic,
just
panic,
stunned. I'm
spiral, spiral,
stunned.
spiral, die. I
Yeah.
would just
Yeah.
die. But she went home and took a Piriton, which I wouldn't have thought about doing.
No.
Anyway, that's what she did.
And
And
then
then
went
they
to
just
A&E.
went to A&E, and then she was filled with, like, loads and loads and loads of a Piriton sort of thing to make sure that she was okay.
Histamines,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Mm.
Um, and she was absolutely fine and whatever. But I was just talking about that, just going, would that not be the sort of experience that would prevent you from ever running outside ever again?
Yeah.
Because that sounds
Well, the
terrifying.
only thing that puts me at ease about that is that wasp season is drawing to a close.
There is that.
Yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
you just remain a relatively wintry runner.
But
When is
also,
wasp season? Hang on. It starts in about sort of May, June?
don't know. But think what I want to know is like I swallow flies a lot, right? When I'm running along the canal path, loads
Me
of
too.
flies.
It's horrible.
Usually, the protein uptake around that point is quite high.
That's
And I
partly why
usually
I'm not a vegetarian anymore.
yeah, yeah, what's the point, right? Um, but usually my face is covered with dead matter, like a windscreen,
Yeah.
and it's all in my bra, like dead bodies of
Really?
things.
Dead bodies in
Yeah,
your bra?
dead bodies in my
I
bra.
should check next time actually for that.
What, my bra?
I should.
You go for your life, girl. So it would all be in there. It would be all my neck and nasty and just all stuck in me and everything. And I would have swallowed quite a few, but they're always quite like midges and things like that.
Yeah.
How wide do you need to be holding your mouth for a wasp to have flown in like
I'm trying to
unhindered?
think how wide my mouth normally is when I run.
She's demonstrating.
That's about as wide as it would go.
I don't think a wasp can get in there.
No.
I
That's
think we're
about
all
the
right,
size of
aren't
a
we?
pinky. I think we're all right. I think that was
I
probably a
think we're okay.
spot of very bad luck. That she
Yes,
must
I
have
think it
opened
was.
her mouth quite wide at a time when a wasp happened to go in.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, a wasp is not going to want to go in.
No, a wasp is not going
It's
to want to
not
go
going to
in.
want to go in. It's not like the
Yeah.
wasps are going to be trying to get in and you're going to need to sort of be clamping your lips shut or anything. Wasps are not going to be trying to get in your mouth. But that is very unfortunate.
Isn't that awful?
Mhm.
Isn't that
That
awful?
really has put the fear of God slightly in me, and I am glad it's not wasp
Sorry.
season.
It's grim.
But you're
Right,
right, I
okay,
hate
go on then.
swallowing bugs full stop. I
No,
hate
I know
that
it's
whole
not
bit.
nice. It's not
No.
nice. But did I tell you about that? There was that time a couple of years ago where I witnessed that guy being really overly dramatic because he'd swallowed a midge, and it was so funny because he was just on the canal path, just going,
Oh my gosh.
and I was like, just swallow
Uh,
it and be done with it.
I had one where it went into my eyes that I was quite dramatic about,
Oh,
I
that's not
think.
nice.
That
Yeah.
wasn't very nice. And I wear
No.
glasses. How did it get in?
How do they get in? Yeah,
Yeah.
I have that quite a lot, and and for a little while I'm like, there's something in my eye. Is that a bit of mascara? You can see it, and it's like,
Yes,
no,
or
no,
is
it's
that a
half.
nasty little
It's a nice little,
creature?
half a nice little creature.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
horrid.
god. Do you want to hear some other stories from
Yes, I do.
some of the Pod Squad?
Indeed, I
Right.
do.
So here we go. This is in response to you having to wipe your ass with a cup.
Ah, yes, that one.
So
Yeah.
this is from Angela,
Yep.
who says, well, she says, first, must say how much I love your podcast and stories. I have listened to
Mm.
many twice now. That is such a lovely thing to hear.
Blimey. Yeah.
I wanted to share what I learned to do so I don't experience any wipe issues while on my run. I fold up a half size Bounty paper towel. I guess any kitchen towels
Kitchen.
are available,
Yeah.
and slip it into the front of my running bra just for emergencies. It's
Uh-huh.
often used just to blow my nose instead, but very handy to be able to reach into the front of the boob of one boob of my bra for it.
Yeah,
Also, the
that
paper
makes sense.
towel doesn't disintegrate like toilet tissue or something would.
Yes.
It's a habit I've had to get into remembering, but it's so helpful. That's from Angela in Oklahoma. And actually, bless her heart, that's made me laugh. She signed it off saying, not proud to be an American.
But like when I do remember, and I do try and pretend that I remember every time, and of course I don't, because otherwise I wouldn't have got to the paper cup situation.
Mm.
But
Mm.
I have done subsequently. Uh, but what I do is I fold it up and I put it into the zip pocket in the back of my leggings. But I have to admit, it gets absolutely drenched with sweat there. So I don't think there is any pocket, and particularly not my bra, which is going to be safe from being completely drenched and then render it completely useless. So
Even a good absorbent, for example, a brand like Bounty,
yeah,
which I
yeah.
believe in the UK are actually called Plenty, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
I
Yes.
think they used to be called
They
Band
used to be Bounty.
Bounty, and now
Yeah.
they, for some reason, they got called Plenty, and they had a slightly, perhaps not aged brilliantly well advert where there was like a Mexican man with a sombrero on, wiping stuff up, going, "Juan Sheet does plenty," which I'm not sure about really now, looking
Yeah.
back.
Well, no, I think you are. She knows she's right. And maybe I tell you one thing that I could do, obviously, is put a sheet of Plenty, stroke Bounty,
Yeah.
stroke. Actually, I think we have a recycled one from Sainsbury's, um,
Mhm.
and put it in a little plastic bag within my leggings, and that might solve the
I
issue.
mean, it's like
Mm,
that's the sort of thing though that you really don't want to be remembering to do every time, because that's not just grab it before you leave. That's
mm,
almost like you need like a mini kit where
yeah.
it's like tissues and maybe I don't know what else would be in your mini kit.
Oh my god, if I had if the stuff that I always want at about mile 10, it would have to be stuff like Lipsil.
Oh, Lipsil, hand
Yeah.
sanitizer,
Oh, yeah.
tissues.
Oh, yes.
Then you're absolutely good to go pretty much.
Yeah.
Maybe, but we're having to expand the mini kit quite
Mm.
significantly here. But maybe a chafe um
Yes.
balm
I
or
mean, what the
something.
hell am I doing at the moment? What the hell? You get Body Glide, everyone gets Body Glide. I have decided never ever to get Body Glide for some reason, and so I'm absolutely my love bite situation is getting out of
Mm,
control. And every time I go and have a shower straight after a run, even now when it's like it's like a 3 mile, I've got a couple of bras that I absolutely love in all other respects, but I do get chafe from them.
yeah.
And so I'm getting chafe under my arm, I think, and at the back where the clasp is. And it's like, oh my God, I just need to sort that out and just bite the bullet, buy
Mm.
some frigging Body Glide and get on with it. What a twat. Anyway,
I
any
mean,
more letters?
it is great. I bought mine at the National Running Show
You
because
did?
I was like, it's exactly one of those things. It's a boring purchase. Let's be honest. No offense to them.
Yeah.
It's a boring purchase, so it's not the sort of thing that you're going to sort of be excited to order. It's
No.
exactly the sort of thing that kept ending up in my basket, and then I was forgetting about it and going, oh, I don't really want to spend
Yeah.
12 quid on that right now. I just kind of want to go to the pub or do this or whatever. I kept not actually buying it, and then at the National Running Show, I walked past them and went, I'm just gonna buy some right now, and
Yeah.
it's
You know
lasted
what?
me since then.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna 'cause I also I've got other running bits that I desperately need to buy. I've run out of precision hydration, so
Oh,
I know I
no.
need to add all these things to basket. Yeah, I'll just do it. I'll do it after
Yeah.
this.
Or you tell you what, you could go to, yeah, no, I make it more complicated, but the running shop in Bath, I didn't realise they do
Oh,
all
yeah.
sorts of stuff like that. They do gels and bits for your hydration pack and stuff. It's quite good.
Do you know what? It's a really good idea. It's called Running High, isn't it? No, it's not. It's called Running
No, it's
Bath.
I
Called
think it's
Running
called Running
Bath.
Bath, and
That's it.
it's also very near Waitrose.
It it is, and it's near Society Cafe that do those amazing cookies that I really like.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
sorry, dull. I went to a that deli on George Street the other day. I think it's called Chando's.
Chandos.
Chando's. I went to Chando's, like Nando's, the other day, and they had the cookies from Burton Bakery.
Do they? Are
Oh
they
my
good?
God, I didn't have
Oh,
one. Not because I was being very holy or anything.
yeah,
I wasn't in the money in the market for a sweet treat. I was
yeah, yeah.
looking for a sandwich because I needed lunch. But they look absolutely insane. They look like better than any other cookie I've ever seen. They
See,
looked
now
incredible.
that deli is just around the corner from my dentist, and, Dave went to the dentist at, like, whatever, 6 months ago, whatever it was,
Hmm.
came back with the best cinnamon bun I've ever eaten in my life,
Their
because it
bakes
wasn't just
looked
a cinnamon bun, it
epic.
wasn't iced or anything like that, so
Mm,
I hate icing on cinnamon buns, but it had, like, citrus in the middle of it as well as the cinnamon. Either way, it was incredible, and then he had to go to the dentist, a few weeks back, and I was like, "Right, can you go to Shandos and bring back one of those things again?"
yeah.
And he came back and he went, "Oh, no, there was just one woman serving and she was in a bit of a flap and there was a big queue and I couldn't really see them and you
I
didn't
had
get
that
it.
too.
Oh,
I had
no.
that too when I went on Saturday. Huge
Oh.
queue, very, very stressful, and they were flappy in there. So they do
Ah,
need to perhaps sort out their, I don't
staffing
know,
issues.
staffing issues. Maybe they've not got enough people manning the tills. But
Yeah.
it is, oh my God, I was salivating looking at the stuff. And I had a Caesar salad thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. It was really good. Had pine nuts in, which I thought was quite
Nice.
generous.
Yeah.
And they do things like they have Italian produce in there, and they
They
do
do.
like Coke in a bottle.
Oh, little joys.
In a
Little
glass
joys.
bottle, I should say. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
normal, isn't it? In a
No,
glass
Coke in a
bottle.
bottle, that is a joyful. That tastes different.
It tasted elite. I was looking at it and I was like, what have they done to this? I picked up the wrong kind. I picked up some sort of posh Coke or something. No, just Coke in a bottle. Oh, so good. And Doug had this sandwich that looked absolutely amazing. It was like a mozzarella tomato thing, but in focaccia.
Oh,
Oh my
God.
God, it looked absolutely insane. And yeah, these cookies looked bonkers. I can't wait till I have an opportunity where I'm near there and I can go and pick one up.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put it on the list. But
Yeah.
I was asking, I was interrupting you earlier on because I was going to see, is there any more letters or are we done with letters?
Oh
I'm just
yeah, I
checking.
mean, there are some more.
Yeah.
Let me find one. There was one other thing that I just wanted to say, which I know is annoying because we've slightly closed the chapter on this, but I
Yeah.
can't stop.
Go.
But Louise wrote in
Mm.
and about the whole situation with the 5K run through event
Oh,
with
yeah.
the men joining in the women's race.
Mhm.
So I thought I'd drag that back up again because I liked
Do
her
it.
email. She says, "Hi both. Well, now quite the revelation on the podcast about that women's event that you've been discussing, and which
Mhm.
I had previously emailed about." So Louise had emailed in as one of the original complainers, perhaps.
Oh.
I was so surprised to hear the feedback from that listener and her husband about their experience of the event. I'm so disappointed that they feel badly about how things unfolded, especially when they had checked several times, and I'm grateful that they took the time to respond. Communications from the race organizer, including on the day, seem to be at odds with the comms and the aftermath, so it does make me wonder what changed. This change of messaging by the race organisers has confused matters, and at the end of the day, it's the participants who've had a bad experience. I do agree, Louise is making a very valid point there that we've not really discussed. We were just like, oh, that's a bit poor form from run through. We hadn't really talked about the fact that they did kind of double down and say after the event,
Mm.
we're really sorry that this happened. The men were told that they told them that it was an event that men were welcome to run in.
Yeah.
That is a change in comms, and
It
she is
sort of
right.
is, but they did also put their hands up and say, "We're sorry."
They did.
So, maybe they weren't saying sorry for quite the right thing. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, she said ultimately, incidents like this are actually damaging for female empowerment and inclusion in running for many reasons. One, confusion about men attending has disappointed female participants, causing conflict. Two, this man, who is an ally, has now been embarrassed in his effort to show support in good faith.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah.
Finally, trust is eroded when women who genuinely need to have women-only race options cannot trust organisers who are vague and unintentional in their actions and communication. Was this event a rebrand of an existing race to make it a female-focused event, but which became blurred in terms of real policy? Real equality and inclusion needs clear, intentional policy backed up by clear, thorough actions and communications to avoid confusion and therefore conflict, and which prioritizes the objective of inclusion while also ensuring allies know how and when to support. This should be true in the wider context, not just gender inclusion. If robust policy it existed, it would allow for meaningful ways to respond to infringements such as Podium Guy, too. I hope Ally Man will continue to be a supporter, and I wish him and his wife enjoyment in their running. Louise,
Oh.
corker of an email.
Oh, she should go into politics.
She should.
I
She phrased that so well. And I've got to
Didn't
say
she?
she's right. And I know that we are erring on defending Run Through because
Mm.
hands up, we've worked with them and they're nice. They're really nice.
They are really
So I
nice.
know that they wouldn't have tried to do this in a horrible way. But
No.
I completely agree that actually it's such a shame because what has happened has been, who has it helped? The women have felt confused, and potentially some of them who really have needed women only spaces have not been given that, and that was what
Yeah.
they were sort of promised. And and men like this man are now going to feel uncomfortable showing their allyship, which is the absolute opposite of what we need men to be doing.
Yeah, that's true. Super true. Oh, God.
Womp womp is how I feel towards Run Through a bit.
Yeah, I know, I know. It's kind of, oh, yeah, it's a real cock up. It's a cock up. But I will still say it's not a malicious one.
No, they're lovely
Um,
people, and I know that they wouldn't have. They are so they're probably mortified because
I think they're
judging
completely
by
mortified. Yeah.
their general attitude and like sort of I don't know, like what do you call it, mission and things. And like
Mm,
when we've had conversations with them and stuff, they are really focused on inclusion, and so
yeah.
I'm sure that they're gutted that this is what's happened, but it doesn't mean that you don't hold your hand up and go, yeah, we didn't handle that very well.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I've not actually spoken to them since then, so it would
Maybe
be
they don't
interesting
like
to
us anymore.
uh, maybe they don't, but,
No, I'm sure they're fine.
yeah, I think they've clearly had to go away and do a little bit of thinking about their comms and stuff like that and figure out what they're gonna be doing next, because I know that they were very, very keen to do it again.
Yeah,
But obviously if they were to do it again, then it would, I mean, apart from anything else, it would just have to be very, very clearly a women's only race right from the beginning. And yeah, like that lovely woman said, they rebranded an existing race, didn't they?
yeah.
When it had already been out. So yeah. Anyway, but
Well,
yes, interesting.
maybe with that very succinct and excellent point from Louise,
Mhm.
maybe it's put to bed, but
Yeah,
you never know.
you never know. You never know.
The
We'll
plot could
see.
thicken. But yeah, thank you, because that I think that she put that really well, and that was that was a really nice way to sort of, I don't know, summarize the whole situation, because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, who cares who's at fault and what's happened? We just want women to be able to be events like that. The purpose is that women should feel empowered and confident, and that if there are women specifically who don't want to exercise with men for some reason, that they have a space to be able to do that and they're not put off.
Exactly.
And I think that that's the main aim at the end of the day. So what are we
Yeah.
doing to work towards something else that will be great? And hey, here's an answer to that. It's not women only. So do bring your allies, but we will be running in the Smiles for Miles wave on Sunday.
Nice segue,
Did
huh?
you like that?
I loved it. Yeah.
So my broadcasting experience has led
Yeah,
to.
I can tell. I can tell. Yeah,
Mm.
so come and run with us if you're running with us on Sunday. Come and say hello, and we'll be there, not in our pants, as previously
No,
discussed,
we'll be the people
fully
in
clothed.
head to toe clothes.
Mhm.
And not in our pants.
Not in our pants. No, no, no. Absolutely not. So, yeah, fun times, and
Mhm.
we've got some Premier Inn action the night before, haven't we? So, we'll probably be
Oh,
hungover.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna start thinking about what I'm gonna have again.
it's not the same Premier Inn, different
Oh, maybe they'll
options.
have different options.
Mhm.
Are we
I don't
sharing a
even
room? Are we in our own rooms?
I think we're sharing a room. I don't
That's
know
fine.
if there's a restaurant there. We might have to go to, new favourite Leon or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Mm.
that'd be all right. I had that chicken rice box thing from them the other day.
Oh, I love it
It's
so much.
amazing. And they've just
I've had
started
it.
doing a gluten-free katsu.
Have they?
Oh, they have.
I think
Um,
since I had Leon with you, I think I've had it about 3
it's
times.
so good.
So good.
I've got some soup in the fridge that needs eating up, but otherwise, I'd be tempted after this conversation to order a delivery Leon for my lunch.
Do
Wherever
it.
you are out there, go and get yourself. This is your sign. Have a Deliveroo Leon or something for
Yeah.
lunch, and
Oh.
take care.
Take care.
And we'll see some of you on Sunday.
We will do. We
I
will do.
don't know how
Can't
many
wait to
people.
see
How
you.
many people are in our wave?
I think there's 1,000.
Oh,
Oh,
bloody hell.
I
Okay, we'll see
know.
quite a lot of you there then.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. See you all there.